Okay, good morning students. In last lectures we have completed sums of residential status, how many days SSC stayed in India and other informations. Okay, and then after we discuss second type of sums in which if SSC is resident and ordinarily resident, otherwise it is ordinarily not ordinarily resident and non-resident. These three categories are there. Then in effect of income, how it will affect, we have already discussed this type of sum also. So next type of sums are both combined, means you have to first discuss how number of days he stayed in India and determine his residential status, and then after you are required to calculate his total income. Okay, so this kind of sum we have not discussed in past, so we are discussing that. Okay, Mr. Kumar comes to India on 20th October 2018 and stays up to 30th April 2019. Particulars of his stay in India in earlier previous years are as follows. Previous year 14-15, 15-16, 16-17 and 17-18, and number of days are provided. Okay. Then after determine his residential status for 2019-20, and also on the basis of said residential status compute his total income from the particulars. Okay, so combined sum is here. You are required to determine his residential status as well as you are required to calculate his total income. Okay, so first of all we are only determining his residential status, and then after effect of his income and how it will be taxable, we will discuss that point. Okay, so first of all we will determine his residential status. Okay, so Mr. Kumar, first of all we write it down. Mr. Kumar, residential status. Status. Assessment year 2019-20 and previous year 2018-19. It means which time period? 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019. This time period is considered for his residential status. So please check first of all on which date he is coming to India. So he is coming to India on, he comes to India on 20th October 2018. Sorry, 2018. Okay, so in October month he is coming to India. So first of all it is related to that time period. Okay, so in October 2018, in October he is coming on 20th, means 31 minus 90. Okay, how much number of days he stayed in India? 31 minus 19, because 19 days he was not in India. On 20th October he is coming to India. Okay, 31 minus 19, 12 days. Okay, then after November 30, December 31, January 31, February 28 and March 31. So total number of days 12 plus 30, 31 plus 31, 28 and 31. It means 163 days. Okay, he stayed in India for 163 days because departure date is not given. So we are assuming that up to 31st March he is in India. Okay, so 163 days he stayed in India, and other information is provided is that in previous year 2017-18, how much number of days? 238 days. Okay, 2018-19 number of days, how much? 163, we have calculated that. Okay, 2017-18, then after 2016-17, it is 240 days. Then after in 2015-16, number of days are 120 days. And then after 2014-15, number of days 100. Okay. So this information is provided to us. So from the point of view, from our point of view, we have to apply basic condition first of all. First of all, we have to apply basic conditions. So first basic condition is what? 182 days or more in previous year. Okay. This condition is not fulfilled because 163 days only he stayed in India. So first condition is not satisfied. So we have to discuss or apply second basic condition, or second basic condition what was 60 days in previous year and 365 days in preceding previous 4 years. Okay. So if we try to apply this second condition, then 163 days he stayed in previous year, means he is fulfilling first criteria. Our second criteria is 365 days in preceding previous 4 years. Preceding previous 4 years means 2017, 18, 16, 17, 15, 16 and 14, 15. Okay. So we will have to make total of these 4 years. Okay. Then after we can conclude that whether he has completed or satisfied second condition or not. Okay. 240 plus 120 plus 100. So 698 days means in previous year he stayed in India for more than 60 days, and preceding previous 4 years he stayed in India for 698 days. I want to discuss with you one point about, in our books answer is given non-resident, because in book author is not applying basic condition number 2. Okay, so please consider it. It is an error in the book. It is a calculation mistake. So please consider that in our book many times author makes some mistakes. So please take into consideration while I am sending you the PDF. Okay, so we have to apply our second basic condition which they did not apply in the books. Okay, so please consider that point. Okay, so second basic condition is satisfied. So we can say he is resident, and if he is resident, then second condition or second problem will create whether he is ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident. So we will check that after applying additional conditions. Which are our additional conditions? So first, he should be resident in 2 previous years out of 10 preceding previous years. Okay, we already know that. Okay, so we in 2018-19 we are not required to check this year because preceding previous year words are used. Okay, so in 2017-18 he is resident because more than 182 days he stayed in India. In 2016-17 another time he is resident. So we can easily discuss that first additional condition is satisfied by Mr. Kumar. Okay, then after and, here word used is and, because in additional conditions if both additional conditions are satisfied, then and then SSC becomes ordinarily resident. So in according to second condition, 730 days or more in preceding previous 7 years. Okay, so if we check that, then there are only 698 days. So second additional conditions is not satisfied or second additional condition is not satisfied, so we can easily conclude that Mr. Kumar is resident but not ordinarily resident, because ordinarily okay, because he is not fulfilling second additional condition. If he has fulfilled, then and then he can become ordinarily resident. So here he is not ordinarily resident. Okay, so we have determined his residential status, that Mr. Kumar is resident but not ordinarily resident, on the information given in the books. Okay, on the basis of information given. Okay, so our first point here, his residential status, we have determined it. Okay, everything is shown in the board. Okay, no problems are there. Okay, so then after we will focus on his income or his taxable income. So for that purpose I will calculate next or his total income statement. Okay, total income. Okay, in that situation, particular and amount rupees. Okay, taxable amounts, we will write it down. Okay, first of all we are checking information in the sum or book provided. Okay, first of all, interest of foreign securities rupees 1,80,000. Please check that 40% is received in India, means first time in India, means 40% amount is Indian income and another 60% amount is foreign income. So in case of foreign income, and if SSE is resident and not ordinarily resident, then I discussed in last lecture also that in that situation word must be used is that income was managed from India, then and then it will become taxable. But in this case no words are used that managed in India, so we will not consider this foreign income as taxable. So foreign income is tax free here for Mr. Kumar. Okay, so 1,80,000, out of which only 40% amount is received in India. Okay, so 72,000 will be taxable. Okay, so first of all write it down, and here in particular income of foreign securities. Okay, then after, this is our first point, then after our second point is interest on debentures of Indian companies received abroad. Please check that interest of debentures of Indian companies, when Indian companies are paying some interest on debentures, then this will be an income. Okay, Indian income. Okay, so Indian income will be taxable. Interest on debentures of Indian companies received abroad. Okay, how much amount? Rupees 1 lakh. Okay, then after, third point, profit from business in Ahmedabad controlled from abroad. Please check that business is in India. When business operated and its all business processes are done from Ahmedabad, India, means this income is Indian income, and when there is Indian income, it is taxable in every situation, whether you are resident and ordinarily resident, otherwise you are not ordinary resident or non-resident. In every situation Indian income is taxable. Okay, so here it is an Indian income, so it is taxable here. profit on business in Ahmedabad, India. Okay. How much amount? 14,25,000. Okay. Then after fourth point, rent from property situated outside India, which was later brought to India. Please check the word later. Later means previous year. In previous years. In 2018-19, this income is not from 2018-19. It is from previous years. No previous year is provided in which year it is earned. So we are only understanding that it was from previous years, and when there is income from previous years, we have to consider the income only from this previous year, 2000 April 2019 to 31st March 2019. Please check that. Our previous year time period is what? Please check that. 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019. If income is earned from this time period, then and then we will consider it taxable income. So, okay, from your point of view, you have to consider only this thing, that this income will not be taxable because it was earned in previous years. Okay, so in previous years when income is earned, here this income is not taxable, it is tax free income. So here we will not write it down anything. Rent from property, foreign property, okay, and which was later brought to India, but it is not taxable. Okay, so total will be total income, because there is no further any transaction. Okay, total income 15,97,000. Okay, so here our this kind of new type of sum is here completed. Okay student, so please consider that. Okay, and check how to calculate this kind of sums. Okay, these kind of sums can also be asked in the university examinations. Okay, so please try to practice at home. Okay.